What's good, guys? Before we start this mock draft, I just want to say, go into the comment section and put your hot takes for this year's NBA playoffs. I'm going to be reacting to them probably on Friday or, before the playoffs start. But yeah, just saying on this video because usually these mock drafts are the one that gets the most views. So hopefully we get more hot takes. So yeah, just go into the comments section, put your hot take, and continue with the video. Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have a NBA mock draft. Our post March Madness mock draft / a post play or pre-playoff mock draft, end of season mock draft basically. But yeah, I'm excited. We got new odds. Detroit's still the worst team, but obviously a lot of player rankings changed. We have some risers in this year's class, maybe like Donovan Clingan and Stephon Castle, the two UConn guys who had good March Madnesses. Then maybe some fallers too. Zachary Sachet did not end his season too well. But obviously, first thing we're going to do is our lottery, and let's see who's able to win it. So at 14, it's going to stay the Blazers. Looks like there's no too big of changes right now. The Bulls actually jump up from 11 to 1, so that is definitely very big. So I do have my own draft board. Haven't made a video on it yet. Probably going to try to do it after the playoffs or when we get closer to the actual NBA draft because things are still slightly changing. Obviously, players or teams where they're going to be selecting is going to change as well. But yeah, right now we have the Chicago Bulls with the first overall pick. I think this is going to be pretty simple for me. It's going to be Alex Sarr. Obviously, as you can see, doing a little bit editing. So we got next to Alex Sarr's head. It's where he was drafted in my previous mock drafts. 1.0 through whatever this one is. I don't know. It's going to be in editing, so I can't see it right now, obviously. But I think this is just a replacement for Nikola Vucevic. This team needs to head in a different direction, and possibly DeMar DeRozan leaves, even though he's expressed that he wants to stay. I don't know if that's going to be great for the organization, but Lonzo Ball, we'll see if he's back on this team. Same thing with Zach LaVine. I imagine if anyone was to leave, it would be Zach. But yeah, this team, it's time to go in a new direction. That's basically it. And when you get the number one overall pick and get the best player in the draft, you're starting off well. At pick 2, we have the Washington Wizards. Before I said how I thought Zachary Sachet was dropping down the draft boards, I don't know if I'm going to drop him in this one because I think a big need for this Wizards team is perimeter shooting, more specifically wing shooting, and I think Zachary Sachet does bring that. I sort of like his fit for the future next to Bilal Coulibaly at that 2-3 position. And yeah, this team could also use a point guard. They have the 26th overall pick from the Clippers. So maybe they can target a Devin Carter if he slips. Doubt it, but we'll see. Bub Carrington out of Pitt if he slips. There can be a couple guys, but I think I'm still going to lean with the second overall pick, Zachary Sachet. He's still my second overall prospect, but things might change because the last time I updated this draft board was, I think, right during March Madness. So if I want to move Sachet down because of his recent poor play, I could do that. But I'm still going to have him go to the Wizards. He's just going to be there for shooting. I'm going to be honest. I don't really see All-Star in his future, but he can be a great role player who can come off the bench or start and be a solid three-point shooter. At 3, we have the Toronto Raptors. I think we can go in a couple of different ways. Could look at point guard here, maybe Nikola Topic, Rob Dillingham as well. Could look at wing and Ron Hollins. I don't know if that would be too good considering they kind of have their guys right now in RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, and obviously Grady Dick. So I think I'm going to lean point guard here. I do like Emmanuel Quickley, but long-term point guard, I'm not sure if he's their guy. So I'm going to give them Nikola Topic. Honestly pretty tough considering he also did not end his season great. The two guys, Zachary Sachet, Topic, both did not end their seasons well. But I'm just going to go off what we saw earlier in that season before the injury. Topic was playing elite, looking like a potential number 1 pick. And I still think that he can be a very good point guard in this league. Like Sachet, though, I don't know if he's a future All-Star. At 4, we have the Rockets. I think this is definitely another team who can go in a lot of different directions. I always like the Reed Shepherd fit for the Rockets at 4, just to slide him at the shooting guard position, maybe between whether it's Amen Thompson or Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green. But I think right now I might want to go in a different direction. Ron Holland has become one of my favorite players in this class, just looking at more film of him. So I think I'd like to lean him here at 4, And I think that is what I'm going to do for the Rockets. Yeah, it just gives them, honestly, I think Ron Holland is still, like, overall, when it all comes down to, I think Ron Holland could still be the best player in this class. Just did not have a great shooting year at Ignite, also Ignite shutting down. But so you can also probably assume that he didn't have great coaching staff in general. It wasn't a great system for him. Maybe it would have been better if he actually went to college. But yeah, evidently with Ignite shutting down, we could obviously see that he was not in the right situation. And I think Ron Holland, I had him as my number 1 preseason mock draft. I think he could still be that guy. And at 4 for the Houston Rockets, we could look at this as a steal in the upcoming future. At 5, we have the Pistons, and I think for this team, we probably just need shooting and probably forward play. Matas Buzelis stands out to me probably at 5. If we want to get shooting, Buzelis is probably not really the guy to go. Obviously, when we're talking about shooting, you have to include Reed Sheppard. Could also maybe say Dalton Knecht. This team only has 1 first-round pick, though, so I'm not sure if they're going to try to go with someone to be a franchise changer, maybe in Buzelis, or a little bit more of a safer pick like Dalton Knecht. This is definitely a tough one. I don't see no Stephon Castle here at 5. I know people have been very high on him. I mean, I'm a UConn fan, so I'm pretty high on him too. Just not this early, considering this team does not need shooting, or does need shooting, and Castle does not really bring that. I think I'm going to lean Buzelis here. I know that this team does need shooting, but right now with that talent on the board, considering you probably would have took one of these top 4 guys if they were available. I mean, I think Zachary Risache to the Pistons is the greatest fit that there ever has been. I'm going to say it's a bit too early for Knecht and guys like Jared McCain, and it's just right on time for Matas Buzelis. It's definitely tough, but I am going to give Matas Buzelis to the Detroit Pistons. Like I said, though, kind of iffy about that one because of his shooting struggles, but I think he definitely has potential to be a solid shooter in the league. And just like Ron Holland, this guy could possibly be the best player out of this draft class in just a couple of years. At 6, we have the Portland Trailblazers. Honestly, I think this one is pretty simple to me. Reed Sheppard is on the board, and I feel like he's going to be a great connecting piece. I know it is technically another guard to put into that rotation, but when you look at Reed Sheppard, he's not going to be a guy who demands the ball. He's going to play within a system. Another player who's one of my favorite players out of this draft class because he just does what needs to get done. Not a flashy player, gets to the free throw line, is an elite shooter, shot over 50% from 3 this year at Kentucky. Also, I want to note, as I'm not sure if he's going to declare for the draft because his new coach, or for right now, Mark Pope, was the roommate and college basketball teammate of his dad at Kentucky. So maybe there's going to be some family ties there and he'll stay at Kentucky. But right now, I'm going to expect him to leave. And he's going to go 6 here to the Portland Trailblazers. At 7, we have the Hornets. This has been probably one of my favorite fits in this draft. It's going to be Stephon Castle to the Hornets. I've been thinking about it ever since my last mock draft is, what if Stephon Castle has a great March Madness? And he did. He'll move up the boards. And I think going in between LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, Castle is a perfect connecting piece. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. I know Ryan Dunn is very good, but I'm still going to have Stephon Castle as my best perimeter defender. When it comes to in the paint, though, I'd give it to one of the big men. But perimeter defense alone, Castle was able to not shut down, but for the most part, contain Mark Sears, especially when he was guarding him. He shut down Terrence Shannon Jr., and in the championship game, he had a good offensive game as well. So there's definitely stuff to see with Stephon Castle, for the future. Just like Buzelis and Ron Holland, I could see Stephon Castle be the best player out of this draft class in just a couple of years. Last time the Hornets took a UConn guard, didn't work out great with James Bouknight, but Castle's different because he actually plays defense. At 8, we have the Spurs. I think this is going to be, I was going to say pretty simple fit, but maybe not. Rob Dillingham, Isaiah Collier, both available on the board. I think they would be looking for the point guard position here. I think I'm going to lean Rob Dillingham. He's still going to be ahead of Isaiah Collier when it comes to my draft board. Actually, no. Let's put Isaiah Collier over Rob Dillingham for right now. I know Dillingham was extremely efficient at Kentucky this year, but the defense kind of worries me. And you can honestly probably say the same thing about Isaiah Collier, but when he was healthy, he was a great college basketball player. And he also has a bigger frame at 6'5", 200 plus, while Rob Dillingham at 6'2", and honestly, he's probably shorter than 6'2". Doesn't really bring you that. But with that being said, I'm going to have Rob Dillingham go here at 9 to the Memphis Grizzlies, just to be, more or less a good backup guard right away. I guess you are technically drafting this guy to be a backup, which some might not see great when it comes to being the lottery. But in my opinion, when you have a team contending like the Grizzlies, and maybe there's not a team who wants to trade up immediately, it's fine taking a bench guy, and I think that's what Rob Dillingham can be. Obviously, if he ends up getting traded or goes to a new team in the future, he'll be more of a main focus. But for right now, I could see Rob Dillingham getting buckets off the bench. Maybe a little bench lineup of him, Marcus Smart running that backcourt. It'd be pretty good. So I do like Rob Dillingham at 9 to the Grizzlies. This is honestly a steal. At 10, we have we got the Jazz. I think they were definitely hoping for either Rob Dillingham or Isaiah Collier just to fall down a couple more spots for them to take at 10. A little point guard duo to put next to Keontae George. But they weren't able to do that. I think they'll probably look for big here, at least maybe wing. Don't Connect is interesting. Donovan Clingan, we still have on the board. There's definitely availability or options to take him a little bit earlier, but honestly wasn't really feeling it. Could I see him go 10? No. Just going to simply say no. I still don't love him as a prospect. I know a lot of people do, but his foot speed, it's slow, and he's not the greatest finisher around the rim. So honestly, with this 10th overall pick for the Jazz, I'm going to look for, maybe a more of a, project player here. I'm going to give them Cody Williams. He does not have the pressure to perform right away with this Jazz team. He's probably going to end up coming off the bench, but all we want to see this guy do is develop, because we know he can be a good NBA player, but he really just needs time. At 11, we have the Hawks, and I think they are going to be very happy with the guy they get here. It's going to be Donovan Clingan. Yeah, some people think he can go top 3. Some people think he can go top 1. I think I heard Woj say that he has the opportunity to go first overall in this draft class. I just don't really see it. If you want to argue that maybe he can go here at 6 to the Blazers, sure. But I think currently DeAndre Ayton is putting together a pretty good end of the season, or he did. The season did end, but he was putting together a pretty good end of the season. So possibly if he ends up staying with the Blazers, they're not going to have to select a center. So I'm going to go with that route for right now. But I do like Donovan Clingan, and I think if things were different, if there was a team that needed center a little bit higher, I could move him up higher. But 11, I think, is fine for him. Don't overrate him, because, there's definitely better prospects in this draft. At 12, we have the Thunder. There's definitely a lot of positions we can go here as well. Possibly Kyle Filipowski, little big duo next to Chet Holmgren. I like Tyler Smith a lot, honestly. I might like him better than Kyle Filipowski. We have guys like Jacoby Walter, probably not. Dalton Connect as a bench shooter would be interesting, but they kind of have those guys right now in Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe who can come off the bench and shoot that, and maybe in Gordon Hayward as well if they want to re-sign him. So I'm kind of leaning towards Kyle Filipowski with this 14th overall pick. Honestly, I wouldn't mind dropping him a little bit more. Honestly, Tyler Smith, the Thunder are not opposed to drafting players like Tyler Smith or players who were projected higher in the drafts. They don't really care about the draft rankings. They care about their draft rankings. Obviously, a couple years ago with Jalen Williams, we saw him as somewhere in the 20s, and he ended up going a lot higher than expected. I really like Tyler Smith a lot. First of all, 6'10", he has a good body, and I think he has one of the purest jump shots in this class. He's definitely can make his case for being a secure lottery prospect. He's probably still around the late lottery to 20s range, but I like Tyler Smith a lot. I think he can be a lottery player. He has the body to play center, but he can also stretch the floor. He's going to be a great stretch forward right away when he comes into this league. Also gives the Thunder a lot much more needed size, because right now their power forward, Jalen Williams, is 6'5". At 13, we have the Sacramento Kings. I see Dalton Connect here, and I'm probably going to end up taking him pretty quickly. It's going to be Dalton Connect out of Tennessee. The Kings did also eliminate the Warriors, last night as I'm recording this. So there's a possibility they do make the playoffs, because the Pelicans are without Zion Williamson for their next game. But right now, they're still going to be a lottery team, and I think getting somebody like Dalton Connect who can come off the bench and shoot right away, it also relieves the pressure of having to re-sign Malik Monk this offseason, where they could still do it. But honestly, if they got rid of him, it's not the end of the world, because Dalton Connect can come off the bench and give them buckets as well. Not to the extent of Malik Monk, but still very good in my opinion. At 14, we have the Portland Trailblazers. We took Reed Sheppard with the first pick. They could be looking for big in the second pick. Kalel Ware available, Yves Missi available, Zach Edey if you like him. Obviously mixed opinions on that one. Kyle Filipowski as well. There's definitely a lot of guys they can take here. I think I'm probably going to end up leaning Kyle Filipowski out of Duke. Not a true center, guy that can stretch the floor to an extent, and just a solid post player, can grab rebounds, can set solid screens. Obviously on the court, not the greatest guy, likes tripping people and complaining about court rushes, but I think he does fit with the Blazers, or at least pretty well what they want to do going forward. I like Kyle Filipowski's game. As a person, not so much, but 14 to the Blazers I think is a solid pick for them. At 15, we have the Heat. I don't know if I mocked this last time, but I am going to do it this time. Honestly, I was going to say pretty easily Devin Carter, but with Jared McCain still being here, could be an interesting pick. Honestly, I think I'm going to lean Jared McCain with this pick. He's obviously an elite shooter out of Duke. Raised his draft stock a lot. Is looked as a late lottery to mid-teen type of guy. And I think that's exactly where he'll go with the Heat. The Heat love players like Jared McCain who can just come in and do their role right away. They've had guys like Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, who are able to perform well after not being drafted. So when you bring a guy who's right outside the lottery, maybe he can do even better. So I do like Jared McCain a lot out of Duke. One of the few Duke players I actually like. But yes, I think it's a great value at 15. And he should be able to get rotational minutes right away. At 16, we have the Magic. And I think with the pick of Jared McCain, they're probably sad because that would have been a perfect fit for them, getting a nice guard who can come off the bench and shoot right away. But he's not there, so we have to look in different directions. Devin Carter's probably someone I don't want to go here with the 16th overall pick, just because I just don't think they need that type of player right now. You already have someone similar to him in Jalen Suggs. I think right now the top guy would definitely be Jacoby Walter. I could definitely see him go 16 to the Magic. Could also maybe see big man if they want to look to not replace Wendell Carter Jr., but get a better backup behind him instead of Goga Bitadze or Mo Wagner. Honestly, that's probably where I'm going to lean for right now. I know I am dropping Jacoby Walter just a little bit in this mock draft, but didn't have a great end to the season, so I guess I could say that. So probably between Kel'el Ware and Yves Missi. I'm actually going to lean Yves Missi with the 16th overall pick. I've expressed it a lot that I really do like this prospect. He's improved his post game a lot, throughout the course of the season. But really, he's going to come to a team and be an elite lob threat and a solid post defender, rim protector, however you want to put it. Yves Missi can do it. At 17, we have the Toronto Raptors. I think they could definitely look for a couple guys with this pick. Honestly, would not mind them taking guard again. I know they did pick Nikola Topic with their first round pick, but they don't want to go Kel'el Ware, because some teams do view him as a second round guy. They can look at a Devin Carter maybe, Jacoby Walter, stop his fall, and honestly that is where I'm going to go with this pick. It's going to be Jacoby Walter out of Baylor. He started off this season elite, was looked to be a top 5, top 4 prospect. Since then, he's really cooled off. Didn't end the season great at all, and I think at this current moment, I don't know if he's going to be a lottery guy. If anything, he's going to be a late lottery guy, but if everything comes together for Jacoby Walter, he can be or bring solid scoring off the bench, hopefully a 3-and-D guy, and I think if everything goes right, he can be a solid NBA player. Just really has to fix his efficiency. At 18, we have the Pelicans. I think there's another team that can go in a multitude of ways. Devin Carter still being on the board kind of feels pretty crazy to me, even though I do have him ranked as my 18th prospect. But also, with Kel'el Ware still being available here. Actually, you know what? I have to fix this. This is not going to be the Pelicans pick. We're actually going to send this one to the Lakers because it's looking more and more likely that that's going to happen in real life, where the Pelicans are looking to defer to next year's pick for the Lakers because Lakers are looking like they might go on a little bit of a playoff run this year. I'm going to go with, for the Lakers, Devin Carter. I think he's going to bring good backup guard for them. Feisty defender, can hit the 3-ball. And just like I said with the Don't Connect draft to the Sacramento Kings, the Lakers are not going to feel too much pressure to re-sign guys like Gabe Vincent and Spencer Dinwiddie, who maybe have not performed to their liking this season. Devin Carter is definitely a rookie that I could see get big minutes in his first season. And when it comes down to a team like the Lakers who are looking to make playoff runs every single year, it can help him a lot, or them a lot. So I do like the Lakers pick at 18 to take Devin Carter. At 19, we have the 76ers. A lot of good prospects still on the board, in my opinion. We could take someone like Kel'el Ware, who can bring them size right away as the backup 5. We could also take a prospect who's a lot more raw, like Tajon Salon or maybe Bobby Klintman. I think with the 17th overall pick, though, I'm going to look to take big man. Guard could be an option, maybe Carlton Carrington. But I think this is probably a little bit too early for him. Keyshawn George, another option, probably a little bit too early for him as well. So at 19, I'm going to take Kel'el Ware out of Indiana to be the 76ers backup big. I know they do have Paul Reed right now and Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba is definitely not the answer for the future. Paul Reed I definitely see as more of a power forward. He's a bit undersized. He's 6'8". So getting a 7-foot guy who can stretch the floor like Kel'el Ware will bring them a lot more versatility. At 20, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. Definitely have a couple ways to go with this pick. Could look to get backup guard here in Carlton Carrington, aka Bub Carrington. Right now, Craig Porter, he did have a good rookie season, so maybe you want to lean away from that. Ricky Rubio's retired, so I'm not exactly sure why he is on this depth chart. But, yeah, there's a lot of ways we can go with this pick. Could also possibly look at a guy like Jalen Tyson or Tristan Da Silva / Dillon Jones. I think those are definitely two guys that have the potential to go this high. But with their current wings being the heights of Karis LeVert, talking about backup wings, Karis LeVert, 6'5", Strus, 6'5", Okoro, 6'5". It's time to get more of a versatile, longer wing here in Keyshawn George at 20. Again, just like I said with Cody Williams, does not have the pressure to come in right away and be an elite player, can take his time to develop, especially under that Cavaliers system. And with his defensive potential, his shooting potential, I think Keyshawn George has a lot of potential in this league in general. At 21, we have the Pelicans. We're actually going to select someone with this pick. Kel'el Ware no longer available, so might want to take a different look from that center route. We can take Bub Carlton Carrington with this one, or Carlton Bub Carrington. Also might be a little bit too early in my opinion, though. I like Zach Edey's going to be interesting. I'm going to go Zach Edey with this pick. He had an elite March Madness, one of the greatest March Madness, if not the greatest March Madness we've ever seen, run. But a lot of people are going to question, can he translate his game into the league? Is his foot speed going to be good enough? Is he going to be able to play good enough defense? Is he going to be taken advantage of? Defensive side of the ball, it's going to be hard for him to come out right away. We have bigs who could stretch it out to the perimeter now that are going to challenge Zach Edey. And really, when you think about it, how many NBA teams are going to be willing to give Zach Edey that many paint touches in a game? Not really. So I'm going to have him slipping, I guess. If you want to call it slipping, you can. ESPN has this guy as a lottery prospect. I'm going to have him go 21 to the Pelicans, though. They don't have the pressure to feel to re-sign Jonas Valanciunas. Also, Valanciunas is getting older as well. So even if they want to re-sign him, he could be a good mentor to Zach Edey right away. Because Valanciunas is one of the most talented in the paint scorers I think this league currently has. Has good finesse around the rim. At 22, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Also, I don't know if I'm going to take DJ Wagner because I think he is going to stay in college this year. Transfer out of Kentucky, most likely. Could see him in a Razorback uniform next season. But with the Bucks at 22, I think they're going to look for this, not center position, but more, forward position. Versatile. Overall, just a versatile power forward / small forward who can defend basically every position. I think when we're talking about that, we look at both Ryan Dunn and Bobby Klintman. And with the 22nd overall pick, 22nd, I think I'm going to end up going Ryan Dunn here out of Virginia. Yes, the jumper does need to improve. Do I think he's going to be able to do it? I think to some extent. He's going to have to do it if he wants to survive in this league. Best all-around defender in my opinion. Like I said earlier, perimeter I would lean Stephon Castle, but when it comes to help defense IQ and stuff like that, I'm going to give it to Ryan Dunn, and I think off the bench he could be a good solid defender. If we want to think about their future a little bit, and maybe a wing like Andre Jackson, a forward like Ryan Dunn, that's great defensive potential right there, and versatility when it comes to front court players / wing players. At 22, we have the Phoenix Suns. It's going to be a not easy pick for me, but I'm going to try to pick a guy who can come in and contribute immediately. I'm looking at guys like, or not guys like, I know who I'm picking with this one. It's going to be Terrence Shannon Jr. out of Illinois. It's a guy who's going to come in and give them buckets immediately. Not going to start. He's going to have to look to adjust his game a little bit because he's no longer going to be the main focus point of this offense. He's going to be a role player. something that he hasn't really seen throughout his college career, but it's time to start thinking like that, because the Suns, obviously, with guards like Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, even Grayson Allen at this point, they have a good amount of backcourt scoring. So Terrence Shannon Jr. is just going to be asked to play solid defense and hit open shots, and I think he does have the potential to be able to do that. I like the pick at 23 for the Suns. Gives them someone who can come in and play right away for their system. At 24, we have the Knicks. There's two guys who are available right now in Tajon Salon and Bobby Klintman, and honestly, I might go with them back-to-back. I know they definitely play similar positions at the small forward / power forward, but honestly, this team could use it. Do need some taller forward depth. You do have Hart and Anunoby, but I'm thinking more of, gotta get back to this. I'm thinking more of a 6'9", 6'10" type of versatile defender. Salon and Klintman both bring that. Maybe if we want to think about guard, we can go Carlton Carrington, but I am liking the back-to-back picks here with Tajon Salon at 24 and Bobby Klintman at 25. At 26, we have the Wizards. I think there's another team that can go in a multitude of directions if you want to upgrade at center. Not too many guys there. Okay. Maybe if you want to look at point guard after taking Zachary Risache, Bub Carrington still being on the board. Definitely interesting. Of the top guys available right now, he is the top guy available. Could also maybe look at Kevin McCullough, but we did already pick Zachary Risache of the same position, so probably want to lean away from that. So I am going to take Bub Carrington with this 26th overall pick. I do think Bub Carrington has the potential to be a starting point guard in this league. But, it's tough. Just like Jacoby Walter, he had his highs and lows during the season. Started off, or pre-ACC play, he was definitely looked to be a lottery pick. Since then, kind of fell off. But during the ACC tournament, he showed those flashes again, and it's going to be enough for me to take him in this first round. At 27, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. Could look at guard here, maybe Trey Alexander, maybe Tyler Kolek. Could also maybe look at wing here. I think wing, probably a good wing defender is where I'm going to want to lean with this pick. Could see Kevin McCullough possibly at the small forward position. Could also see Jalen Tyson, and I think I am going to end up leaning Jalen Tyson with this pick. Is a guy who can come in and play right away for this Timberwolves team. They're not looking to rebuild anymore. This team's looking to contend, and Jalen Tyson will be able to provide that offense and defense for them. At 28, we have the Denver Nuggets. I think just like the Knicks and just like, who do we give Ryan Dunn to? Just like the Bucks, this team's also looking for athletic power forward / small forward / centers, guys who can kind of just stretch the floor in general. Looking at Ethan Almanza, the shot not really there, but his athleticism kind of drawing me to him at the current moment. Ulrich Chomche, or Chomche, however you pronounce this guy's name, he did declare for the draft, so that's definitely something to look out for. I think I'm going to go Ethan Almanza with this pick, though. McCullough's still available. Honestly, Kevin McCullough's not bad either. Could actually want to switch this up and go Kevin McCullough with this pick. I am going to give them more wing or bench wing scoring because they honestly do need it. I do like Christian Brown off the bench, and I do like Julian Strawther off the bench. But at the end of the day, I think Kevin McCullough will be able to give them more buckets, more versatile buckets, back to the basket, fadeaway jump shots. I don't really know if Strawther and Brown have that in their bag, and I do know that Kevin McCullough does. At 28, we have the Jazz. We had them take Cody Williams with their first round pick. With the second one, I think I'm going to be looking to take a point guard here. Tyrese Proctor is returning back to Duke, so he will be off the board when I get a chance to do it. Maybe looking at shooting guard here. Johnny Furphy's not a bad option, I think, with this pick. I could go Johnny Furphy with this pick, actually, when it comes down to it. Could also look at maybe, like I said before, maybe an A.J. Mitchell, maybe another one of those point guard prospects, Tyler Kolek, maybe also Trey Alexander. But I'm actually going to lean with Johnny Furphy with this pick. We don't know whether or not he's going to declare. I'm going to act like he is going to. He's a 6'9" shooting guard. He can also honestly play that point guard position as well. A lot of future versatility for Johnny Furphy, and I think if there is a team to, take a little bit, have a little bit years in the rebuild, it's a team like the Jazz, because they do have years left to spend with whether or not they want to trade Lauri Markkanen. They obviously do have their center. I accidentally clicked on that. Hopefully it saves my draft. They do have their center in Walker Kessler, but it's time to start putting guys around them. And I think at the end of the day, Johnny Furphy, when he progresses, can be a very solid wing role player. At 30, we have the Celtics, the last pick in this draft. Could look at Ethan Almanza, but with this pick, I'm going to give them, unless I already drafted him. I did not already draft him. I was going to give them Tristan da Silva, but having a little bit of problems trying to, he's right here at 33. Going Tristan da Silva out of Colorado. In my opinion, he is a first-round pick. He should be a first-round pick. And overall, he's a very solid scorer. He's able to score in the paint, also on the perimeter. And for a team like the Celtics, who are kind of lacking bench scoring / bench depth, Tristan da Silva should be able to give them just that. So there's the mock drafts. If you want to look at guys who maybe went a little bit higher than expected or a little bit lower than expected, I think Topic, probably this is one of the highest I've ever had him at 3. Maybe if you want to say Ron Holland and Buzelis are a little bit high, sure. Stephon Castle at 7, I think this is one of the highest I've ever had him. Dillingham at 9, probably a little bit of a fall. Same thing with Isaiah Collier, probably a little bit of a jump. Some people think Clingan should be a lot higher than 11. Not so sure about that one. Tyler Smith at 12 is definitely high for my standards. Other than that, this looks pretty uniform. Maybe if you want to say Jacoby Walter a little bit low. But yeah, I like this mock draft. Maybe the Knicks, if you want to say that them taking back-to-back players at the same position is unrealistic. I mean, they play the same position, but they do have different play styles. Dejan Salon, definitely a different player than Bobby Klintman. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. And make sure to save this draft. I'm not sure, what is this, my 5.0 mock draft, 6.0, something like that. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, and see you next time. Peace.